In June of last year, extremely famous Minecraft YouTuber SSundee would release a new Minecraft prison server. The server, iBlocky, saw immediate success, with thousands of players online daily. However, it was soon discovered that the server featured a variety of pay-to-win gambling mechanics, such as over 8 different pay-to-win crates and 2 super expensive loot boxes, which SSundee himself even mentioned were too expensive.
It's currently worth $40, which is absurd. I'm gonna tell him to lower that.
As such, the server began receiving major negative attention and backlash from myself and others. And now, after multiple duping videos and the server being on the brink of death, SSundee has made an official response, and it's extremely surprising.
I know a lot of you guys look at me as, oh, this dude's a money-hungry piece of crap. I understand that. That's not me.
To catch you up to speed, SSundee's Minecraft server initially began as just a prison server, and after we duped on it the first time, iBlocky would also release a survival or SMP game mode, where SSundee mentioned this.
We're not gonna sell any of the keys for the crates on our store anymore. We're kind of moving away from that just because, you know, loot boxes and money, I don't really like doing that type of thing.
Clearly, after the first video, they had already become aware of players' dislike of crates and gambling, but unfortunately, their survival server featured a premium paid currency called iCoins, of which you could then use to buy crate keys in-game. Basically, crates weren't removed at all, they just required one extra step to purchase them in-game. Now, the server's launch and early months were a bit rocky, as almost all new servers are, especially because iBlocky had a lot of custom-coded plugins and features, which ultimately meant there were a lot of duplication exploits. I would upload another 2 duping videos on SSundee's server in the following months of 2024, but have since left them alone, as the server began seeing a big decline in popularity, with their player counts often only peaking at 30 players tops, normally lower. You see, both their survival and prisons game modes hadn't received updates in quite some time, and without any new videos from SSundee to advertise the server, it was only going to continue to decline. Many players began to believe that the server was a quick pump and dump, and SSundee was just there to get some quick cash and then abandon the server for good. It was also around this time that I was informed by one of the server's higher up staff that they were working on a new game mode behind the scenes, and were also planning to remove all forms of paid RNG like crates entirely. I was quite skeptical of this claim, as we saw earlier. SSundee mentioned that he wanted to remove loot boxes and gambling, but then didn't do so when Survival released. And obviously very few Minecraft servers are willing to remove crates in general, because they make so much money. But it seems they may have indeed stuck to their word. Since we are on the topic of Minecraft servers, how many of you wanted to host a server but were put off by laggy servers or expensive hosts? Well, this video's sponsor, Indifferent Broccoli, will have you covered. Indifferent Broccoli's Minecraft servers are not only affordable, but also come with something no other server host has: a 2-day free trial. That's right, with no credit card required at all, you can personally test a server and make sure yourself that it isn't slow and laggy like Eternos. You don't need any mods like Essentials or a good computer like Feather Client. You can play with your friends today and personally test your server's performance for free using Indifferent Broccoli, link below. Not even a week ago now, after not uploading a video about the server for almost 6 months, out of the blue, SSundee would release this video, addressing the Minecraft server drama, with quite a hilarious and creative thumbnail, clearly poking fun at the thumbnails me and Z-Man had made. The first 12 minutes of the video were a typical SSundee video, where he plays and promotes his server's new Skyblock mode, but then the rest of the video, about 16 minutes in total, was a discussion about the situation with the server's higher up staff.
Alright, so I got the owners, co-owners, we got Dawn and Charm. So, boys, listen, here's what we're gonna do. We want to talk to you guys about iBlocky. I know you don't really trust us right now. We're not here just to do a quick cash grab, make a ton of money, and run away. That's not our goal here. First things we want to bring up is RNG crates that we had on our server. And you heard me right, we no longer have them anymore. We're getting rid of all the, we're getting rid of the paid RNG.
Already, this is great news. SSundee states that he is planning to remove all forms of paid RNG, otherwise known as crates, which are gambling. As I'm sure you guys are aware, my only issue with SSundee's server, as well as other servers, is their pay-to-win gambling.
It's pretty much been an industry norm within Minecraft servers, Roblox games, pretty much all types of gaming, that they had some form of RNG crates.
As one of the server staff members says, Nowadays, crates, loot boxes, and gambling have become industry norms for Minecraft servers, and even gaming as a whole. That doesn't mean it's right though, and we know that it's not due to the various problem gambling related harms associated with loot boxes. But if you were starting up a new server, it's not unusual or even a bad idea to look at what other successful servers are doing and take inspiration from or copy them. And of course, almost all the bigger, more successful servers do in fact have crates and gambling.
That being said, after reading YouTube comments, conversing with people in the Discord, in-game, it's pretty clear that you guys want a change in monetization. We have completely removed all forms of paid RNG.
If you spend money on the store, you know exactly what you're gonna get. If you want something and you want to get it from the store, it's there. You don't have to roll some token to get it.
This statement here is also really important, as it's one of the main points I argued for in my video discussing ethical Minecraft monetization. As SSundee will get into soon, and as I've showed time and time again, servers are expensive and need to be pay to win to remain operational. So, asking server owners to entirely remove all pay to win monetization from their server is completely stupid, as it will never happen. It's not a realistic solution. That's why advocating for and asking server owners to instead ethically monetize their servers is the only realistic middle ground that can be achieved. And the overarching principle behind ethical monetization is that there is no deception involved whatsoever. You know what you pay for before you buy it, and you always get what you pay for. Doing this removes almost all the harms associated with game monetization from servers.
The crates, whenever we launched them, they were fairly expensive. A lot, and I harped on that in the videos too. We want to bring those prices down.
We wanted to make sure if you were spending the money, you got your money's worth. If
Right.
you were gonna spend $100, instead of just giving you 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 crate keys or whatever the item was, we gave you 10 or 20, depending
Right.
on what it was. But we wanted to make sure you got a bang for your buck.
Now, this is probably the weakest argument in the video. What SSundee is referring to is most likely the very expensive iBoxes, a different type of loot box the prison server had, which he himself in one of his videos even explicitly stated as being too expensive.
It's currently worth $40, which is absurd. I'm gonna tell him to lower that.
Notably, these iBoxes contained an extremely low chance of obtaining a one-of-a-kind rank called the 1% rank, which I criticized for being predatory. Their rationale for having such expensive loot boxes in the game was that they wanted to make sure players who bought them got their money's worth. I don't really see the correlation here though. Something doesn't need to be more expensive for it to be worth the money, and I think this is a poor justification, but regardless, those expensive iBoxes are removed now anyways. Be sure to subscribe by the way, if there's any more updates on the situation, you won't want to miss them. No pressure.
A lot of people say pay to win. They don't like pay to win. It's a difficult topic. We're providing a free game. We pay for the servers. We pay for all the devs that work with us. We have 20 different contractors that we hire out and work with. All these people have to be paid. And if you're playing on a free server, there's no way that we can pay these people to make these games. We can't pay for the server. We launch a server that doesn't make any revenue, right? We can't continue the server. It just dies.
Basically, what SSundee is saying here is that his server is expensive to run and requires a lot of people who need to be paid, which is why the server needs to be pay to win. It's all true, and I've objectively proved it before by running my own server and tracking the revenue of other servers. My issue with this server was never the pay to win. I have my own pay to win server after all, but the pay to win gambling, as I stated in those duping videos.
We're putting out this video. We didn't have to, but we wanted to. We want you to see us for who we are. I want you to understand we're trying to do this the right way. And we've made drastic changes. Like you said, a lot of people thought iBlocky, our server, just fell off the map. We stopped caring, we made some money, and now we're running away. That's not what we're doing.
This is all very true once again. Most server owners won't listen to players when they say they want pay-to-win monetization removed or even crates, because they have no reason to. Therefore, the fact that SSundee and his server staff are willing to do as such, and even make a video talking about it, proves that they care about the server, and that it was never a cash grab.
If you go over to the Blocky store, there's no more RNG on it. The Prison 1.0 server is gonna be revamped within the next few weeks. Prison 2.0, we're removing all RNG, the payable RNG. that's going to be gone.
The money you spent on any RNG related items, you'll get a 1-to-1 conversion for the money that you spent to use on the new iCoin shop for Prison.
This is a huge point. One thing I was concerned about while watching this video is that while Skyblock may have no crates and gambling, the server's other two game modes, Prison and Survival, still would. But if you go to the server's store, you'll see the Prison section with all the keys is now gone, and both Survival and Prison are currently in 2.0 development, which SSundee now confirms will both have their gambling and crates removed, with players getting reimbursed with their premium iCoin currency.
It goes about how you guys do the constructive criticism too. Like if you're attacking us, attacking the server, you know, doing iffy things, it doesn't go over well on all fronts. We gotta be constructive, right? We gotta be kind to each other.
Here, SSundee is most likely referring to people such as myself who use dupes or other exploits on the server to spread our message, stating it should be done more constructively and in a nicer way. And I can understand why he feels that way. Logically, it makes sense, but the thing is, in practice, it's almost never the case. Let's go back to my very first duping video. If instead of this video, I made one of my normal commentary videos mentioning that SSundee's server monetization was bad and that he needed to change it, do you think it would have actually gotten his and the server staff attention and led to actual change? I personally don't think so. Such a video, if I made it, would have probably only gotten 100 to 300,000 views, which is still a lot, mind you, but nothing compared to the millions I would get doing a duping video. If the video doesn't get as many views, it means that it doesn't get as much attention, and as such, iBlocky could have easily just ignored it, as the negative attention they would receive would be almost inconsequential. But when you have videos with view counts in the millions instead, there is a lot more negative attention and backlash, which puts much more pressure on the server to actually make a change for the better. What I'm trying to say is that duping videos are a much better way of spreading a message because they always get more views and attention, therefore significantly more likely to lead to actual change. And of course, I'm not going to pretend like there's no personal reason for me to make the duping videos instead of a normal commentary one instead. Obviously, I benefit from it much more as it gets many more views, that's no secret, but at the end of the day, the duping videos still remain the best way to get the ethical monetization message across to server owners and enact realistic change. That's a fact.
And we have a lot to learn. Us as a server, we have a lot to learn. When we launched iBlocky with Prison, my first video, we had a ton of issues. I know a lot of you guys look at me as, oh, this dude's a money-hungry piece of crap. I understand that. That's not me. I know my words don't mean anything, so we're gonna prove it.
Overall, a very good response with very fair points. I'll leave his video in the description if you'd like to watch it yourself. I joined the server to confirm for myself that gambling was in fact removed, and I couldn't find crates anywhere, nor could I find any other similar custom mechanics that involved paid gambling or RNG. And side note, while the server has some small issues, as any new server does, it was actually very well designed from the brief time I spent there, and there's a lot of very cool custom features I haven't seen on any other Skyblock server before. They clearly are putting time and effort into making an experience people will stick around for. So what has this whole ordeal displayed, and what can we take away from everything that's happened? Well, one thing's for certain, and it's something I've mentioned time and time again and had many arguments with people in my YouTube comments over, and that's the fact that people who say things such as, if you can't run a server without it being pay to win, you shouldn't run one at all, are incredibly naive and are only further contributing to the problem they claim to care so much about. If you tell a server owner such as SSundee to remove all forms of pay to win monetization or shut down their server, do you think they're just going to go, huh, that's a good idea, why don't we do that? No, they're just going to laugh at you or ignore you. Many of the people who so vehemently want servers to remove all pay to win monetization often have no experience or any idea of how to run a server in the first place, and as such, server owners aren't ever going to listen to them as they know that these people will never understand server management and won't ever be reasoned with. However, if you instead ask for reasonable demands and work to meet in the middle by asking server owners to just remove crates instead, which are the main harm of server monetization anyways, server owners are far more likely to listen and oblige. What I'm trying to say is that people who advocate for the removal of all pay-to-win monetization or state that servers should not exist if they are pay-to-win are actively contributing to and further harming the Minecraft multiplayer ecosystem as they are advocating for a change that is entirely unreasonable and impossible to achieve. If they instead advocated for an achievable middle ground, then servers like SSundee's may actually listen and make beneficial changes. Servers aren't ever going to remove pay-to-win entirely because they need it to survive. Mojang is never going to shut down pay-to-win servers because it's not against their guidelines to be pay-to-win, and they also know it's unreasonable. And the Minecraft server scene will never return to how it was 14 years ago. So stop acting like you care about the Minecraft server ecosystem when you spew your misinformed and entitled ideas with no actionable plan of improvement in place, and start advocating for reasonable, fair, tried and tested changes that actually work, and maybe more servers will follow in SSundee's footsteps and become ethically monetized, improving the Minecraft server ecosystem overall. Now, one final thing I want to talk about is the negative attention my videos personally gave SSundee and his server. Understandably, the number of people who will watch this video will not match the number of people who watched my duping videos, and as such, many people will still believe SSundee's server is bad, despite them making changes for the better. I personally think that isn't fair on him or his server, since they have now made good changes. They deserve equivalent positive attention. So, sometime in the near future, I'll likely release my very final duping video on his server, which contains footage from not one, but 2 dupes I did months ago when the server still had gambling. However, instead, this final mega duping video will ultimately paint his server in a positive light to attempt to inform the masses of iBlocky's good changes and attempt to dispel much of the negative attention I gave his server, as I think that is only fair. So make sure to subscribe, you don't want to miss the mega conclusion to the SSundee duping saga. I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you all so much for watching.